Okay, while praying, just laying in bed and waiting on the Lord right before bedtime kind of deal, I was praying about a vehicle for our family because currently we're borrowing a vehicle from my mom in order to fit my family inside of the vehicle. And I saw a vehicle coming towards me, which wasn't exactly like super distinct. I just literally didn't understand what kind of vehicle it was. And it turns out it was a Pontiac Montana, which I saw probably a month later, a little bit more than that maybe. And we're driving down the road and I see it on the side of the road with the for sale sign in it, and I'm like, that's it, that's the one in my vision. And so we say, all right, we'll go check it out the next day after church. And I show up there, we give them a call. They said they had 7 people call them that day, or 8 people call them that day. And they said, come on over, we'll show it today. And so we get there, and there's one person that only talked to him before us. And me knowing what's kind of going to go down, I didn't have a full idea, but I understood what was my end of the deal. I was like, man, Lord, whatever blesses the most people, let's make that happen. So this is the deal. It turns out they're selling this vehicle because it was a gift to their adopted daughter, whom is a teenager that they just adopted. And she doesn't need like a family vehicle. She needs just something that's maybe, a 2-door or something, 4-door, something that's not got so many seats and gets better gas mileage kind of deal. So that's where the money was going to go, was to bless her to get something. And so I'm thinking, well, dang, I'm not trying to just take that away from this girl, right? And so we're standing there. They were so nice. They were Christians, as a matter of fact. They invited us into their home, and the presence of the Lord just fell on me there. And instead of me having to walk into the presence, it was like, the angel of the Lord was just there protecting me, putting me underneath their wings, and I was feeling the peace of God, like, so nice. Anyway, so that made it a lot easier to come to him with my vision. There's several Spirit-filled churches in this area, and so, it's not a huge surprise to me that they did believe that, God still works in dreams and visions, as according to Acts 2 and Joel 2, and as he's promised, he still is doing today, and you can check those out for yourself. But anyways, so I told Tony, who's the owner of the vehicle and the man of the house, I said, hey, Tony, this may be crazy, but I was praying about a vehicle, and I saw your vehicle. And here's the deal. I have no money. I've got no job. And I don't know if you would prayerfully consider just gifting us the vehicle. That'd be awesome. So just, let me know. And he goes, wow, that's a lot. I would have to definitely pray about that. So I don't know about that. But anyways, he was still really kind, and we were still talking about church and business and other things. And then they come back. The first people who came were out looking at the Montana at that time. They came back. Tony goes out, comes back in, and goes, okay, well, they want it. So at that moment, Tony's wife says, Tony, come here. We got to talk about something. And then so they go in the back room, and I'm just kind of standing there like, what's going on? What in the world is even happening? And so then I'm like, okay, God, well, whatever you're going to do, it's going to be cool. I'm sure of that. And so they come back out and they go, all right, well, we can't give you the Montana, but we've got this Cobalt that's just sitting in our shed, in our pole barn kind of deal. And you can have that. And I'm like, okay, wow, that's cool. And then so they're like, you want to take it for a test drive? It's got a little front end damage, but it's got gas in it. It had an oil change recently. Just right now, I can't even get the hood up on it. So it's going to need a little bit of work. But otherwise, runs and drives great. And I'm like, okay. Well, that's cool. And so they're like, yeah, you want to take it for a test drive? And I go out there, and I'm like, what am I doing? How can you just take a test drive when they're just going to sign a vehicle over to you? I guess to make sure it's running and stuff. But I said that to his wife, who went on the little test run where I just drove it down their street, up and down their street like once. And then I was just like, well, gosh, man, thanks. But anyways, as soon as I saw it, there was this desert Southwest triangle Native American kind of pattern on the seat covers. And that, right then I knew. I was like, oh, this is for my little brother. This is his car. And I knew that because when I came back to Michigan and moved from Colorado, I didn't have like t-shirts. I didn't have much of anything because we had to leave and make haste because we heard about National Guard was going to close down the borders in the beginning of all the COVID stuff. So we weren't sure like what was going to go down. And I felt the Lord leading us back to Michigan, where I'm from originally. And that's another story entirely. But anyways, the point is, he gave me a t-shirt that had like the same pattern on it, and the Lord just spoke, this is for Clint, because my brother, he didn't have a vehicle at that time. So yeah, in God's economy, Romans 9 says, give and it'll be given unto you, pressed down, running over in good measure from others. So imagine you give away one t-shirt that you don't even like and that you found, and he gives you a vehicle back, like a good running vehicle. Now again, it had a little front end damage, but still, I mean, it's a t-shirt, man, that he got for free too. Anyway, so that really encouraged me to just want to give away more t-shirts, for one thing. But anyways, this is not the end of the story. And so they sign it over to me. I take it, I go over to my brother's house, and I give him the keys, and I go, Happy Easter. I go, Jesus loves you. I saw this vehicle in a vision, and it led us to this car, and I know it's for you, because after we got it home for a minute, I was like, what are we going to do with this? And I talked to my wife, and she goes, I feel like it's Clint's vehicle. So there was 2 witnesses there on that. So that's what we did. We trusted the Lord yet again, and just did faithfully with what our hearts were telling us about, give it to Clint and give Jesus all the glory. So I pulled out the title and I said, hey, happy birthday, happy Easter, Jesus loves you, and be blessed. And I reminded him of giving me that t-shirt. I said, so in God's economy, I'll let you know, like I just said, you give away a t-shirt, you get a car back. And he was just like, what? Somebody just gave this to you? And I was like, yeah, and now I'm giving it to you. So that's just a real cool testimony. I wanted to share that with you guys and encourage you to share your testimonies. If you got a brief one, leave it in the comments, or if you have a posted one on YouTube, send it to me, because I just love the testimonies. Because Revelation 12:11 says they overcame by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they did not love their lives unto death. So I'm just out there giving back this testimony all the time now, and seeing a lot of people's hearts kind of be touched and tenderized in a lot of ways. And I'm trying to just tenderize and touch other people's hearts through the power of the living God. His name is Jesus, guys. And be blessed.